Welcome. In this series of videos, we will explore the frequently asked spiritual questions found in Section 7 of our Spiritual Nutrition. These questions invite us to look beyond what we have been taught and reflect on what is rooted in human belief and what is aligned with divine truth. In Part 3, we will be exploring questions about spirituality, healing, and genes. Let's begin. Question 1. What is spirituality? Spirituality is knowing that we are children of the All, and therefore loved unconditionally. It is knowing deep within that we are much more than our physical bodies. We are spiritual beings dressed in human form, learning our way back to Source. Spirituality is knowing this holds true for each and every human being, not just the fortunate few. Being a spiritual person does not mean having to forsake family, friends, sex, wealth, luxury, food or drink, or even work or play. We need not deprive ourselves of the joys of life, and we certainly need not inflict pain on ourselves to prove our devotion to God. After all, the universal intelligence hears our every thought, so there really is nothing to prove. Question 2. What are some of the spiritual gifts? These are not so much gifts as they are skills or abilities, possibly gained in previous lifetimes, that the All may activate in the current existence. Any spiritual ability we have while in human form is there because the universal intelligence has enabled it. We become better able to use these gifts to help others after we have worked through our unresolved issues and inner conflicts. These are becoming more well known and widely accepted as being at least a possibility. Foreseeing future events, finding missing people, channeling, communicating with the dead, seeing entities who are not in physical form, interpreting dreams, these are all thought to be the result of psychic intuition. The universal intelligence teaches they result from our guide giving us information along with sometimes spectacular special effects. The psychic is willing to tune in and listen to what the universe has to say and then to share the information. However, and here is what can damage the credibility of psychics, the information is filtered through their beliefs, so the message may or may not come through intact. This is one of the reasons the information in the Bible may not completely contain universal truth. The writers may have been influenced by the prevailing social norms of those olden days. Given all souls come from Source, we each have an inherent sixth sense, and it is possible to develop it. Doing so requires practice and dedication to become a clear channel, else we risk presenting less than accurate information. Start becoming a clear channel through spiritual decluttering. Doing this work sets us firmly on the path of profound soul development and enables us to truly serve God, and thereby humanity. Here are some of the spiritual gifts along with some newer information about them. Ability to heal others, ability to see auras, channeling, gift of tongues, medical intuition, phasing, astral projection, and bilocation. Ability to heal others. Although well-intentioned, this is a myth. Healing is given at the discretion of the universal intelligence, sometimes working through another human, sometimes not. See miraculous healing. Ability to see auras. This is the ability to see the energy emanating from another individual. Of course, the only way to really know what the various colors mean is to ask our guide in meditation. Remember to ask for whom the message has been given. Channeling. Process of seeking information from source and source, speaking through us using our voice or another physical means of recording information. Review Section 4-1 before starting. Then get centered, ask your question, and actively listen to your thoughts for the answer. It takes conscious effort to remain listening. Speak or type the words that come to your mind without changing them. Changing any of the words given can change the meaning of the message, so accuracy is a must. The guides will allow our beliefs to be reflected in their answers, so it is up to us to ensure our beliefs are aligned with divine truth and unconditional love. Gift of tongues. When channeling, the gift of tongues may be activated. The gift of tongues is a spiritual gift, widely misunderstood for centuries. It is thought when this gift is bestowed upon an individual, they will speak words sounding like no language on earth. The trouble is, though, no one is able to translate the words into a meaningful message. And what good is a message if it is not understood? In truth, when this gift is enabled, each listener's guide will translate and telepathically transmit the speaker's words to each listener in their preferred language. Medical intuition. Ability to hear our guide tell us what is happening physically with another individual. Our guide may also provide physical signals to alert us to what is happening physically for them. Of course, the clearer our thoughts and the fewer our inaccurate beliefs, the more readily we may hear universal truth or feel the individual symptom for ourselves. Phasing. Phasing is enabled by the guides if they have specific information to help us gain understanding about a particular subject or to prepare us for a future event. It can happen spontaneously when our thoughts are calm or we are in observation mode. It can seem like a daydream where our thoughts wander freely, yet when it happens, we feel like we are right there in the vision, active and even communicating with others there. Other people physically in our presence are not likely to realize anything is happening for us. Astral projection, seeming to leave our physical body. This can occur when we are in a meditative state and more open to allowing our imagination to roam freely. It can also happen during a near-death experience to show us that life truly does go on after death of the physical body, a driving force in the human struggle to recall our divine nature. In either case, the importance of asking our guide questions about the experience cannot be overstated. Bilocation, phasing or seeming to be in two different places and times at the same moment, can occur if an individual has attained a level of spiritual enlightenment, enabling consciousness to separate from ego in order to gain information. The individual is physically present in one place and time and energetically present in another. Question 3. What is the fifth dimensional state of being? This is a label for a level of spiritual awareness. Just as there are dimensions of the physical plane of existence, so there are dimensions of the spiritual. See characteristics of the levels of spiritual awareness in section 11. Question 4. What are the spiritual laws? This information may seem to be at odds with much of what is out there, but it is simple and straightforward. It is free of the fear-based ideas that are currently widely accepted, and it presents the concept of the profound equality of all souls. There is no such thing as sin. There is no judgment, criticism, or condemnation. All are free and able to experience whatever their soul needs in order to find its way back to Source. It is important to note that each and every individual soul was created whole and complete, just before the instant of the Big Bang. All souls entering physical form have been granted free will. There is one soul for one physical body per lifetime, beginning approximately at birth and ending approximately at death of the physical body. Whatever lessons are required for the soul's ultimate spiritual advancement will be presented. We will be tested relentlessly. All souls entering into physical form are accompanied by and entitled to communication with a personal companion/teaching guide. The guides abide by the wisdom and guidance of the All and by the spiritual laws. Question 5. What is free will and how does it affect us? Free will is the most important of the spiritual laws affecting humankind. This means that we have free will to make our own choices. In fact, planet Earth is often called the free will planet. But free will goes far beyond simply being able to choose which action to take and when. It is the ability to choose what to think, what to desire, what to feel, and how to react. Even more importantly, it is the freedom to believe whatever we want to believe. God, the universal intelligence, the Creator, whatever you choose to call Source, helps us maintain and even strengthen our beliefs, even if not based in universal truth. Whatever our beliefs, the universe will allow us to experience in physical, the outcomes of them. That is free will in action, and that is partly why it is so important to be aware of our core belief systems. They are the foundation upon which our physical body rests, and upon which our life experiences depend. Free will is opportunity. Free will is also our opportunity to choose between doing what we want and doing that which the universal intelligence requires of us. There is only one way to find what God requires of us, and that is to ask God through our own personal teacher/companion guide. Only they have the universal truth of what God requires of us as individuals. If we do not ask what is required of us, the information will not be given, because it would interfere with our belief. If we rely upon another person to tell us what God wants us to do, or upon information that is presented in a book, any book, or on television, or on the internet, we will not find God's truth of what is required for us as individuals. We will find only what someone else suggests, thus the importance of regular communication with our own guide. Free will and unconditional love. The flip side of the free will coin is unconditional love. We are all children of God, and we are each loved unconditionally at all times. Therefore, we are never judged, criticized, or condemned by God or His representatives. However, God does not excuse us from responsibility. He allows there to be consequences for our choices and our thoughts, attitudes, and emotions. The consequences may not always be pleasant. They may even be painful, but we are entitled to communication, guidance, teaching, and unconditional love throughout our entire life experience, whether we think it is deserved. However, just because we have free will does not mean that we are in charge. Our lessons will be presented according to God's timing, and in whatever way He sees as best for our spiritual growth, and He will test us relentlessly to make sure that the lessons are learned. If this does not make sense, think of a toddler who is learning to walk. If the parent prevents the child from falling, how will the child learn to get up? So it is with the All. We are allowed to make choices, to err, to fall, or to excel, to soar. Yes, we may be hurt. Others may even be hurt by our choices, but ultimately, all will benefit. Destiny or free will? It's not so much that our course is planned, but rather at inception of this iteration of the universe, the vast intelligence that created it knew all that each of its emanations would produce. After all, we, and all of creation, are aspects of Source, so of course Source knows us intimately. Our record is written upon the fabric of space-time, and as we experience space-time, we respond to it. While we may not know how we will respond to our experiences, Source does. So it is not a matter of our needing to choose the correct response. It is a matter of doing as we choose in any given moment. Our every choice can be based on our existing knowledge or on information gained from seeking guidance. That choice, whether to do as we wish or as guidance recommends, is ours to make, but of course, Source already knows our response.